What's up, everybody? On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast, is it okay to use your money and influence to get your kid into college? Would you do that for your kid? Would you do anything you could for your kid, even though your kid is either dumb or not talented?
Nope.
All this and more on today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. Pew, 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 pew. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 123. 123, I believe, of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared.
I don't think we got that many Spanish listeners, but what's up, people? It's Jay.
Oh, we have all of the Latin American communities listening into our episodes just for that first 10 seconds of me trying to say the number in Spanish. Anyway, yeah, welcome back to the show.
Click off.
Friends. And then they click off, right? Yeah, that's like the 10 seconds they listen to now. Welcome back, friends, family, Romans, countrymen, and all the people who don't know us. New listeners, welcome. Returning listeners, welcome back. As our boy
people
John
who
would say,
accidentally stop by, welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
welcome,
what that should
welcome,
be, right?
welcome.
Welcome back. All right, what's up, man? Yeah, how was your week? I bet I know what you gonna say.
Yeah, I mean it's the same answer every week. It was busy, but I got to have a 3-day weekend. As many people know, we record on Sundays, so I got Friday off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And of course, you hear my loud ass kids in the background.
Nice.
But yeah, my wife went out of town, visit her best friend. They was supposed to have a class reunion this weekend, but they both opted out of that and said screw it. We just gonna hang out together.
That's cool.
So yeah, while she's out of town, I'm chilling with the kids, man. So we just been doing practically everything. Took them to Dave and Buster's on Friday, let them chill and play games and all that other good stuff. And then what did we do yesterday? Took one of them to the mall, let him pick out some kicks. I should have got kicks for both of them, but whatever. Nice. That went to see Lego Movie 2. Ordered pizza, which completely screwed up my whole little workout regime, diet plan. Messed me up for a little bit, so I got to get back on the grind this week. Yep, but yeah, that's about it. Wife's coming back today, so we just been chilling the whole weekend, man. That's about it. How about you?
While the mama's away,
kids will get into mischief.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man, just a busy week as well. Just work, just sort of kicking my tail. Actually started football practice for the fall flag football season for my son. So we're going to have 2 practices. We only end up having 1 because between Tuesday and the Thursday practice we were going to have, it snowed a few inches, and by the time Thursday afternoon rolled around, it was still covering the practice field. So I was like, nah, we ain't practicing in that. Canceled. So our first game is a week from today. So we still have 2 days this week to practice. And I'll tell you, my team is like 90% new. So this is going to be fun. But the good thing is the boys on the team, boys, I think all the boys on the team have actually played before multiple times. So I think it's just getting my system down, pretty quickly, which is going to be easy for them because I sort of I do like a color by number play scheme. So basically, I show them a chart, a diagram for each play, and I'm like, I call their color or their number, whatever, or their position, give them their route or the run or whatever it is, and they do it. It's fairly simple. So it worked last year, so hopefully it'll work like that this year. So other than that, though, man, just busy. Just busy. There's one thing I do want to say. Take care of your skin, whether you're black, white, Mexican, Asian, whatever race or nationality you are. Definitely make sure to take care of your skin. Wear lotion, wear sunscreen, all that stuff. Just because I had some family that was affected by sun damage to their skin. And yeah, man, it's a real thing, I guess. Long-term sun damage, either working outside or, going to lay out by the pool or whatever it is, not taking care of your skin could really lead to some things that you don't want. Even though freckles are cute, apparently freckles are because of sun damage.
Hell, take care of your body, period.
Yeah, take care of your body, period. So yeah, it's just a PSA. So I'm just saying that because you don't want a lump scraped out of your face. Let's just say that.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, man. Other than that, man, is just a wild week at work. Super busy. Wild week at home. I'm gonna tell you what, man. My daughter. I think she's a budding fashion model because. So, a lot of kids want, like toys and games and stuff like that for Christmas. The thing that she wanted was a sewing machine and sewing lessons. So, my mother-in-law and us sort of teamed up to get, her those. Got her like a super basic sewing machine. And also lessons at Joann's, which is like a pretty cheap place. At, some Joann's or some... What was it? There was some other kind of quilting place, I guess. Fabric place. But, so let's see. Over the past couple weeks, she's made basically a skirt with all kinds of like embellishment and bows on them. That is like fit to wear to school. Like it's not just like a regular skirt, but yeah, almost like a full length skirt. And then yesterday, as I was putting her to bed, I didn't see that she brought home from her lesson a sundress, completely finished sundress. It's like a tie-dye color. It's pretty cool. I was like, hold on, what is this? Is this new? She's like, yeah, it's my sundress. I was like, when did you buy that? Did it for your birthday? She's like, no, I made that today. It's like, what? So, hey, man, I know she's talked before about being like a doctor or some kind of like veterinarian, but I'm like, nah, this is your lane, girl. You're a creative. And so her next sort of accomplishment she wants to do is a shirt. She wants to learn how to make a t-shirt. So I'm sure that's the next thing she'll make. And yeah, go from there.
It's like, hey honey, can you make me some Nikes?
I mean, right, Doug? Just give me them new J's. I'll get you the fabric. No, but it's interesting because there's all these like random kidpreneurs out here. Shoot, if she wants to, man, she can start making little tiny things for kids and sell them and probably do well. And it's funny because I took some Hooks Rub, obviously, to the farmer's market last year. She's talked about making things herself and having her own booth. So, cool. You speak it into existence, it may just happen. So
may just happen.
But other than that, crazy week. And yeah, we finally released episode 122. You Was Conceived at Freaknik. And that's out there for y'all to listen to right now. It's got R. Kelly on the front, pointing toward the screen during his interview with Gayle King. When he was talking about he's a dad. He just wants a relationship with his kids. But we all know R. Kelly. You don't even know your kids. No, you know your kids. But I don't think your kids actually want that much to do with you. So, all that being said, voicemails. We got some voicemails. This week. Jay, why don't you tell the people where they can find us and leave a voicemail for?
All right, people, 385-325-2572 or 385, people, 385-325-2572. That's 385-3BLAKPC. Got it? Good.
There you go. Got it? Good. All right. So let's see here. We know we got at least one. Oh, wait. We may have more than one from our Memphis correspondent, Kayla Stevenson. So let's go ahead and listen up to the first one. 3, 2.
What's up, y'all? It's Memphis Diva 99, Kayla, A.K. Fonse, your Memphis correspondent. Y'all, I'm so sick of hearing about Juicy Smollett and Robert Kelly. I'm just over it, pedophile, okay? You pay people, parents, so you can come have sex with their daughters or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I'm sick of hearing about this bullshit. I'm sick of it. What else I gotta tell y'all? I'm single, like super single now. Yeah, me and my friend, we, kind of stopped seeing each other in October, and he just couldn't give me the time. So in January, before the new year came, I said, you know what? Let's just be friends, because if you cannot give me the time, it's worthless. So yeah, it's interesting, and just found out I have lots of admirers. That's what my friend girl said. She said, you got a lot of admirers. And I was like, hell, I ain't been paying any man no attention. Half of them married anyway, so ain't nothing. You sure can't give me no time. So, and yesterday, we had a tornado, but it wasn't on the news, and the wind was so strong that it knocked me down in the parking lot, and now I have a bruise on my left wrist and a bruise on my knee, and I'm a light-skinned person, so it looks like somebody's been beating on me. Yeah. Okay, well, I gotta go. I'll call y'all back in a little bit. Okay, bye-bye.
Wow.
That sucks.
Thanks for that one. Well, hopefully you're recovering from that, Kayla. I guess this was, like a little over, let's see, when this voicemail came in. Yeah, it was about a week ago, so, actually it was exactly a week ago. So, yeah, hopefully, you're recovering from that. And yeah, man, super single, can't give her the time. So, I know we both had to reminisce back to our dating life, as far as like, I don't know what it took to give the time, but really, I think this day and age, dating is way different than it was back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Sure is, man. I can't even tell you the last time me and my wife been on a date.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, man. I mean, right now, it's rough when you have kids and all these other obligations, obviously, that that affect the time that you get to have together. But then, when you're dating, it's one of those things, man. You obviously have to make sort of a conscious decision to constantly make time, find time,
right?
For that person, whoever that is. You always. It's funny because when you're dating somebody, whereas your schedule is normally, ABC. When you're all of a sudden dating somebody, as I remember, your schedule stayed ABC, but then you decided to drop some, D's, B's, or C's, L's, G's all up in there as well, just to be able to find some time to spend with that person. Right. And the reality is, if that person can't find the time to spend with you, if you can't find the time to spend with that person, whatever it is, maybe it's just not meant to be at all, or maybe just not right now.
Yeah.
If they can't find the time for you, then you got to cut them loose. That's what I say.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of factors in that, of course, but yeah, it's that'll just have to be something. Well, I mean, of course, what's done is done, but communication is the big thing. So that's the big thing. You got to communicate. See how you guys can spend time together, what you guys can do, this, that, and the third. But yeah, it's a lot. It takes a lot these days to even get, to even have some type of time, because this world is just moving at an incredible pace, and you got jobs, you got this and this and that and the third that you committed to, like you said. But yeah, there's somebody out there for you, Kayla.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So crazy. There is somebody for everybody. So that person's out there for you.
Yeah. It's a crazy thing. I thought about it the other day. I saw this because I know she rides bikes, And I saw this couple the other day. Each of them had a bike. Well, no, it was a man and a woman, black couple. You know, they both had their motorcycle gear on. You know, so I'm sure they were riding. It was a beautiful day outside, so I'm sure they were together riding.
Yeah.
So yeah, like yeah,
that's nice. You're gonna find your rider, Kayla.
You're gonna find your rider. You never know.
You will. So let's see here. So she sent us one voicemail that I'm gonna just hold on to because I think we're gonna talk about this topic later on. So I'll just skip to the next one. We'll bring that one back. So on to the next.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? This is me, Memphis Diva 99 in Memphis, Tennessee. I am just calling in to see how y'all doing. I messed around and looked at the news and saw how the guy in New Zealand shot up the people in the mosque. And then I seen him live and just shooting people in the head. Just, oh my God. What's up with the gun laws? I don't understand. I worry about stuff like that for real. I worry about going to get some chicken or some ribs and somebody just shooting up the damn place. And so I just worry about that. I do. Ever since 911, I swear I said if I ever have to get in a building where there are many elevator floors up, I was bringing some chains. And I was going to wrap them around the desk and just jump out the window with my chains and do some skydiving. I don't know. It sounds funny, but I'm like dead serious. So I guess I'll talk to y'all later. I'll talk to y'all about the cougarism that I'm going through later. Okay, bye-bye.
I know that's coming. Yeah. Wow. Man, just like she says, it's crazy. I saw this story. You know, We talked about this offline before we started the show. Some crazy gunman, white supremacist in New Zealand, started opening fire in a mosque, screaming racist, racial slurs and stuff. So I guess America, I mean, it's not just us. You know what I'm saying? It's out there in the world. If you have been living under a rock, the past, 30 years, and don't realize, that this is still out in the rest of the world too. It's not just us, but yeah, that's wild. And prayers go out,
maybe we should just build a big, huge wall around Australia.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should build
New Zealand.
New Zealand, I know what you mean. Yeah, maybe we should build a wall around every country then, so everybody just stays in. I mean,
the logic absolutely works for Trump. So
yeah, for sure. But he'll make Mexico pay for it if it's up to him.
Yeah, we'll build around New Zealand, have Mexico pay for it. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's highly unfortunate, making light of the situation. It's still highly unfortunate, that there's people out there that will do stuff like this. Like, it doesn't make sense. Just like Kayla said, it's hard to understand, hard to predict, and yeah, there are times where you do, sort of get freaked out for yourself or for your families, just doing everyday things, because you never know when somebody crazy is gonna snap.
Never know, man.
Or you don't know who is who's sitting there like brewing, these thoughts in their heads. So yeah, so thoughts and prayers out to those families out there. And it was interesting as we were talking about this. I saw an article, a story about an Australian senator who was, or maybe it's a New Zealand senator. I can't remember off the top now that I'm thinking about it, but who was basically commenting on the whole situation, and he, was saying something about it's their immigration laws that allowed for this to happen, allowed for this terrorist attack to happen. Now, mind you, the people who were white people of New Zealand, it was not kids in a classroom. It was not a situation like most other these terrorist acts are. It was people in a mosque. So it's sort of like reverse, right? Like it was reverse of what you would normally think. You would think, right? So as this guy is doing an interview, just live on TV, you see a kid, they call him Egg Boy, rolls up, he's a teenager, rolls up behind him with, doing like a Facebook Live post or something like that, Instagram Live post, and smacks him on the back of the head with an egg. In which the senator turned around, hit the kid a couple of times, and then, punched him a couple of times, and then the kid was subdued by the guy's supporters. So I'm sort of thinking that's how it would go, like if somebody came and smacked the egg on the side of Trump's head, like all of his supporters would like come and tackle the kid, but you'd still be sort of a hero. Yeah, man, I saw that happen, and it's sort of weird that this Australian senator would say something like this. You're supposed to be for the people, regardless of the situation, but in this side, you're on the wrong side of for the people.
Right.
And there's people who are praising this kid for what he did. So good for
good
that
on
kid.
him. Good on him.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So anyway, yeah. Sad. Here we go. On to the next. So yeah. So Memphis Diva was talking about her cougarism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her birthday was this week, like we said last week. It was this past week. So yeah, so that's probably what she was talking about there. So I don't know if we're gonna get to that in this voicemail, but we'll see.
Y'all, it's me, Memphis Diva 99. You remember my book that I had called Monday Mornings, a cup of laughter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, lately I've been going through a cup of shit at work. We got this new manager, and she's an asshole. And she's a fat weeble wobble.
What's she calling?
She just called the division at work.
The weeble wobble.
Man, she done promoted somebody that's only been there 3 years, and I've been here 9. They keep my supervisors out of meetings on purpose, fire my director, and I am seriously thinking of trying to transfer out of my department. I can't be in that environment. I just can't. My blood pressure goes up all the time now. I can feel it. But anyways, I'm going to have to get my book. Well, no use of me getting my own book. I wrote it. Oh, Lord. I tell you. It was going so peaceful at work. I mean, for 9 years, it was just really nice and peaceful. And then Fat Average Sister comes in.
Dang. Fat
No disrespect against the fat people. I mean, I ain't, but she got a little ass head and a big ass body wobble. And stand that woman. Okay, well, I've been it enough. I'll talk to y'all later.
Wow, she is a weeble wobble. Fat Albert's sister.
Hadn't heard that in a while. Weeble wobble.
Man. You know, Kayla, if it's an option for you to move to transfer, that might be the best bet, because it sounds like this person is clown shoes. And what I mean by clown shoes, she don't know what the heck she's doing. It's always like a circus show whenever this person shows up in the room. Yeah, and not getting recognized for your work sucks. So
yeah,
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it does suck. I know. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have been through that. I know I have. But yeah, I mean, if you got the opportunity to get something better, or go for it. If not, just do the best you can. Try not to curse nobody out. Keep your job.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. Or you could be like Scarface on Half Baked and throw a burger at somebody's face as you walk out the door. So I don't know. Wow, that sucks. But yeah, it sounds like that lady crazy and is disruptive. And I know sometimes there are companies that hire people to be disruptive on purpose. to try to change the culture for whatever reason. So hopefully that's not the case in this situation. Hopefully you just got one bad apple. But if it's an opportunity for you to move, that you can move to a different location within that job and still keep all the benefits and everything else that you've been able to garner over the past, 9 years, then yeah, definitely do what's right for you. Or maybe find some way to get Fat Albert's sister up out of the paint. You know what I'm saying? Get him out of there.
For sure.
Wow. All right. Next up. This was from today, I think. Or yesterday.
Hey, y'all. It's y'all, Memphis, Tennessee correspondent, Memphis Diva 99, and I'm coming to you. I'm on my way to Huntsville, Alabama to a motorcycle event. And me and Ryder Pearl are going to take some T-shirts. But I was talking to one of my friend girls, and she said I have a lot of admirers. And I was like, huh? What? And she was like, you never pay them any attention. She was like, you just kind of laugh and speak and whatever. She said, you have several male admirers. Get the fuck off my bumper, bitch. I'm sorry, y'all. There's a woman on my bumper. And I don't appreciate it. Oh, did I say that out loud? But anyway, I just gave her the finger. Get off my bumper. I'm in the correct lane. You're in the wrong lane. You get over there in the fast lane. But anyway, my friend girl said I don't pay attention to the men that are flirting with me. And I was like, I'm just used to men coming up to me and, saying what they got to say and speaking and all that good stuff. I said, what am I supposed to be looking for? I ain't looking for nothing. I mean, if somebody catches my eye, they catch my eye. So I thought that was very interesting. So I was like, can you tell me who is admiring me? And she couldn't. She was like, I ain't going to tell you. So forget you then. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, well, I'm going to eat my pizza. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
It's funny.
Get up off my bumper, bitch. Wow. Man, that was funny. That was great. So
perfect.
Hey Kayla, hope you did well with Ryder Pair at that event. And it sounds like you might have found a way to solve your super single problem that you got
yes,
going
indeed.
on.
I was just gonna say that.
You need your friend to come up off that info.
Yeah.
Or open your eyes. Either one. I don't know. Maybe it's the case because when you have admirers, right?
You never know.
It's one of those things. Yeah, you never really know. You're not particularly. Maybe you're not necessarily particularly seeking that person. Maybe it's one of your friends. Maybe it's an acquaintance. Maybe it's definitely somebody who knows you and who you're around enough to admire you. And probably also people at some of these events that you go to. So you need your friend to come up off that information. Like if they're a friend, they're a real friend, then they'll tell you who it is. Unless they have made a pact with the person to keep it a secret. But yeah, that was funny. Hopefully that lady got up off your bumper. Gave them the finger. Wow.
That's great.
Very interesting. Open your eyes.
Great.
Maybe it's somebody who's been sitting in front of you the whole time. Maybe it was your friend.
Yep. Right under your nose.
Right under your nose.
Right under your nose.
Wow. Well, thank you for all those voicemails. We know you have one more that you put in, so we're going to hold on to that one as we start to talk about this next story. So, Jay, I know you sort of wanted to bring this topic about the stuff with the universities, so speak on it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm sure everybody is known about it right now, or does know about it right now. Like Lori Loughlin and what is that other woman name? I'm trying to look through this crap again.
Felicity.
Yeah, there you go. that lady. So they are two of, from what I remember, upwards to 50 people, if I'm not mistaken, that have like tried to buy their kids into college. Or is that the correct word? Buy their kids into college. Well, I guess we're all pretty much kind of buying our kids, but they're bribing them, I guess, with a lot more money to get their kids accepted into college. What was their thing? $500,000, if I'm not mistaken. $400,000.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, Laughlin did that, I believe, about $500,000. This is between, and I don't know if it's just for the one daughter or if it's for both of her daughters. But yeah, several other people, you know, millions and millions of dollars combined. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, that's the whole fiasco. They are getting, those two for sure are getting in trouble, along with the other people that have did the same thing. You know, it's pretty terrible. I just recently read that a student who had a 4.2 grade point average could not get admitted into school because of you know, actions like this from
that scandal.
These parents. Yeah, 4.2 grade point average and can't get into the college they want to. So, you know, it just got me thinking about my college days and all that other stuff. I know my parents couldn't buy me into college. Definitely know that.
Same.
You know, same with you as well. But yeah, man, what do you think about this? I'm sure you went to TCU, so.
Yeah, I went to an expensive school, and yeah, my parents were trying to get me to not go to that school after like the first year, because they're like, nah, this ain't cheap. But to be honest, man, it's wild because you know, my school was super expensive, I guess, and now it's way more than it really was comparatively. And hold on a second. I think my laptop's talking to me. Sorry about that. Let me turn this down. But all this being said, I knew several kids who were there who were family members of rich people, or their family, you know, was overly rich, you know, and I think every college has that for sure.
Yeah.
But I actually went on I don't know if you remember that TV show, that dating show on MTV called Singled Out. But it was way back in the day. But or maybe it was not on MTV, it was on something else. But we had our own version of Singled Out on campus. They just sort of did like a silly mock-up, and it was part of student services. And I was actually the guy who, you know, was picking the dates or whatever. So the girl that won the date was the granddaughter of the people who make Klondike bars.
Nice.
Klondike bar. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that, you know, that her family was caught up in this situation, you know, but because she seemed like an intelligent girl. Wow. But, you know, I mean, families like that, you know what I'm saying? I know that back in the day when George Bush's daughters were caught up with the, in sort of like the drinking or whatever scandal, like underage drinking scandal, that happened at a TCU party. So it's interesting because, you know, a lot of people like that, like either rolled up to campus because they had friends there or they were a part of our campus. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were people out there, you know, that I went to school with, that all of us went to school with, that had some kind of back end way to get in. The schools that these people were alleged to have their kids, you know, gotten into were like super expensive, or Ivy League,
UCLA, Stanford.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. I don't know how much it is right now, but I remember back when I was about to go to college, USC was USC, University of Southern California, was one of the options, you know, that sent me like a card in the mail type of thing, and I looked into it. I had a classmate that actually got a full ride scholarship there, academically, because of like the decathlon team or whatever. And USC back then was $40,000 a year. That was 20 years ago. $40,000? Wow. So imagine what it is now. Anyway, so places like Georgetown, Yale, Princeton, San Diego University, Stanford is one of them. Mm-hmm. So, several high class schools. There's many others as well. But yeah, so basically the school's Georgetown University's tennis coach was accused of accepting bribes from parents to be able to get them in. Let's see here, and then also I believe it was a soccer coach who was at Yale was helping parents do like photo or not photoshopped but staged photos of their kids playing a sport. So like one was water polo, like one was soccer, like whatever it is, their kid is sort of staged, like Hollywood staged photos. And they actually have notes and voicemails and text saying, okay, send them to the Hollywood studio, blah, 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 we'll come and shoot at this time, And apparently what this did was they used these photos and they used other like sort of made up information. They made up a whole website and world around these kids that said that they were a potential college recruit. They were a athlete for whatever whatever kind of athlete they were. That was the way that they were getting recruited or sought after to go to school there, and they get a scholarship basically. And this guy would basically pay, or I guess they would pay this guy hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to get their kids into these schools. Pay these guys that. So it's crazy, man. And I saw from that soccer coach, he said, I created an avenue, I created a portal for these, for these rich kids and rich families to get into school. And not just the one kid, but sort of generationally get into, higher level colleges with no business to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Lori Loughlin's child was not like academically smart enough to get into the school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she was not an athlete at all. She's a model, which she was a model for Sephora, which Sephora dropped her.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lori Loughlin, our old Aunt Becky that we loved so much back in the day from Full House. She was charged. Felicity Huffman from Desperate Housewives was charged. William H. Macy is Felicity Huffman's husband. But apparently he wasn't charged for some reason. Yeah, Felicity Huffman's husband.
Oh, I thought you say husband's husband. I was like, wait, how does that work?
I did. I couldn't. I was messing up.
Well,
I couldn't get the B's and the S's.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at this. So Georgetown. Yeah, so Georgetown's tennis team's coach. Apparently Georgetown knew about the scam and just didn't say anything for a long time. So this guy, Gordon Ernst, Gordon Ernst accepted more than $2.7 million in bribes from 2012 to 2018. And he designated at least 12 applicants as recruits for Georgetown's tennis team, including someone who did not play tennis competitively, thereby facilitating their admission to Georgetown. So what happened was these kids would get into school, and he would call them an athlete, right? And he'd get them a scholarship, and then they basically wouldn't play on the team, even though they'd be listed on the team. And the kids knew about it too. This is the thing. The kids knew about it too. Because if you look at Lori Loughlin's daughter, she would do like Instagram and Facebook posts about she's excited because it's game day, or she couldn't wait for game day. You know what I'm saying? But she never played. She never played a minute.
She's excited to watch. That's what she's excited to. It's game day because she wants to watch.
It's crazy, man. You think about some of the things. There was this girl that we went to school with. This black girl we went to school with, she was, I can't remember what year this was. I just remember she got like a brand spanking new like Lexus like LS when it came out, and that was like as her birthday present. We're like, wow, they're freaking rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, that's what you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I knew this girl from school or whatever, just more acquaintance than anything. But you think back these days, her and her family. I don't know what her family did, but other families there, and all the kids who have like the most, like those expensive cars, like the Range Rovers, like the Lexuses. There was a kid with a Porsche, a kid with an Audi TT, multiple of those that I knew. You know what I'm saying? You think about those kids, and you think about this situation. You're like, how far back does this actually reach?
Oh
it's
man,
wild.
I'm sure it goes back a ways, man. Well, speaking of cheating, I don't know. When I saw this, I was looking online, and somebody asked a question. I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was Hot 97. Said, thinking back on it, what was the most successful cheat scam you ever pulled off? Can you think about it? Going all the way back to like elementary or something.
The most successful cheat scam?
Did you cheat? Have you cheated in school?
I mean, I probably did. I probably either looked at a classmate's paper, or we exchanged like signals or whatever. Wow. I don't know. I have to think about that. What about you?
Man, right when he said that, all these memories start coming back to me.
All these memories, Jay? All these memories?
Bruh, we were the most elite cheating kid. We had so many schemes and scams. Like, I can remember going all the way back to like maybe junior high.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us used to write the answers on the back of the desk of the person in front of us. Just with like a pencil. That way we could reference whatever. And our teachers didn't look around. There's no cell phones to pass notes or send text to people or anything like. They got it so easy today. We did that. There's one time I wrote the answers on my forearm. Of course, I had like a long sleeve shirt on, but I wrote the answers on my forearm, on the inside of my hand. It even put a piece of tape on the side of my shoe and wrote the answers on that. And you kind of like cross your leg, kind of like put it up and cross your leg, something like that. Of course, there's been the, passing papers and looking at other kids' tests and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it was so much cheating going on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it made me a bad person. Hell, even to this day, we got to take like yearly what do you call them things? Training exams at our job. I cheat on those things too.
Right.
I cheat on those because they're like 50-minute long videos. You got to
sometimes you can do that though, and it's not a problem.
Yeah,
sometimes you can do that, and it's not a problem. So
you could do that. I mean, but still, I couldn't tell you what's right or wrong at my job anyway. So whatever. I mean, it just brought me back to the good old days of like cheating. I don't even know if I talked about this one time. It was me and one of my good friends. We had, I think we stayed. I'm trying to remember exactly. We stayed behind in class. Like a class was letting out. The teacher went out to go use the restroom as well. All the kids left, and it was just me and him. We were packing up to leave, and then he was like, my friend was like, "Hold on, stand by the door." So I stood by the door. He went into the teacher's grade book, changed his answers. Then he went into the teacher's computer, changed the answers. Not the answers, but changed his grade up in there. Dang, what are you listening to?
I'm sorry.
Changed his grade in there. But yeah, it was good times, man. Good times.
Wow. Going into the grade book and changing the grade. Now that's some balls right there. That's some balls.
Yeah.
There's a couple of I mean, depending on the situation, if you just think about this just on a regular, everyday, depending on the situation, if the teacher is in the room, is one thing. You never know when that teacher's going to turn around or see you, whatever. If the teacher's out of the room, walking to talk to another teacher or running an errand for whatever reason during the test, or not during the test, whatever, just regular day, for a kid to go change a grade. Yeah, that's another thing because you don't even know when that teacher's going to show back up. But yeah, man, that's the big balls right there.
There's also been. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. That's it, man. That's wild.
I mean, it's there's also been times like I can remember like test day. We knew there was a test coming up, but of course nobody knew what was exactly on it. We just had like an idea what to study. We go in, and for some reason, sometimes the teachers would have the tests already like on their desk with the answer sheets. And a lot of times, like maybe one kid, maybe we go ahead and get a glimpse of what's going to be on the test, get a glimpse of the answers. That way, we could kind of get a head start as to what we needed to quickly like review, and especially if it was like a multiple choice test or something like that. Man, the good old days, dude. I do remember a couple of those times where, the teacher had their Scantron laying out. You know what I'm saying? Or they had the test right there, laying on their desk, and happened to walk by and see it. You know what I'm saying? I do remember those times and trying to take some photographic pics with my eyeballs. But yeah, man, it's. I'm trying to think. I can't think of that right now. I didn't have many situations in class where I like notably remember like scheming and planning on cheating. But I know it happened. Sometimes you got to do it, man. Sometimes you have to do it.
Yeah, you're right. There are work tests. There are work tests in which you cheat as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big cheat. It doesn't affect me.
Ours are basically open book. I know that. Wow. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll come up with something later. This whole cheating scandal got me messed up. So let's see here. So. Wait, we forgot. Okay, we forgot Memphis Diva's voice message because she was going to talk about this. So here we go. We'll listen to this real fast and then we'll get back.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Memphis Diva, your Memphis, Tennessee correspondent. So, I'm still celebrating my birthday week, which was March 11th. I turned 49. Yes. But I'm a cougar. We'll talk about that later. But it's right in here. It's like 66 degrees. It was 70 something. But yo, I know y'all heard about those actresses, those rich ass actresses that were paying the colleges to let their children attend these like big time colleges. And I've always said rich people are the biggest crooks. Yes, they are. And one of them had $1 million bail, and she posted it. So y'all need to Google that stuff, y'all. Interesting. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen to their tenants. I mean, are they going to get kicked out of the colleges? Or, I mean, what's really going on? Okay, stay woke, everybody. Oh, well. Let me get over here because I'm too close to this car. And I'll talk to y'all later. I just find it just very interesting, that the whoopper got blown on. I was like, ooh, no. Okay. Well, that's all I had to say. I'm going to call y'all back in a little bit.
Blow the whistle.
Here's a question for you. I read this article. It says, I completed my son's college applications just to learn he didn't want to go to college. Mm-hmm. Would you force your kids to go to college? I mean, I'm sure a lot of parents, we would like our kids to have a higher education, but would you force them to go?
Forcing them? This is the thing, man. Forcing them in this day and age, I would say no. Forcing them in the day and age when we came out of high school and before is more like a yes. Because back then, I guess you would call it this, back then the narrative of companies, of hiring companies, was
right.
If you have a college degree in this subject, in some other subject,
Right.
that would get you hired, at better pay and a lot sooner than somebody without a college degree, bachelor's or higher, or even in some cases, and associates, I guess. So, and also it would get you hired over people with some college that did not graduate. So back then, that was a thing where that's what you had to do. You went to high school, you made sure you did, well enough in school and did enough activities that it helps you get into college. And once you got into college, you stuck through whatever program you went through or changed program, but stuck through and got your degree to get out and get a good job. And that's what it was about. Nowadays, and as time has sort of passed, really more than the past 20 years, but past 25 years or so, give or take, it's less about you having your degree in whatever job that you do, and more about, well, I guess there's twofold. It's more about who you know, and also your effort once you have that job, regardless of what you do. Because I have several coworkers who don't have a degree in the field that they work in right now. So I have several, and some successful, some are extremely successful. I have a cousin, Flan, who was on our show, who did not go to college at all, and he has a successful real estate business, and has been for a long time. So nowadays, man, I'm telling you, okay, yeah. So nowadays, I would say no to forcing them, but I would probably heavily suggest it, because and heavily suggest because of this. And I learned this once I went to college. When I was a kid, I sort of lived more of a sheltered life compared to most other people. I didn't have cable for most of my childhood, mostly because of me, but you know what I'm saying. So, but when I went off to school, when I went off to college, I was 4.5-ish hours away from my family, so I couldn't just walk into the other room and talk to my parents or get something if I needed to. I had to learn to live on my own type of thing. And I think that, and then, had to learn to live with other people from all over the world, interact with people, learn how to have my own daily routine and just do life by myself without mom and dad, having to reinforce on a daily. So I think for that aspect, yes, I would force them to go just because I want them to get out and learn and be without us. What would you say?
Force, no, but they on that aspect that you just mentioned, as far as getting out and interacting with different people in the world, yes. But at the same time, I want my kids to have at least a plan or an idea of what they want to do at least by the time they get to 11th grade. Of course, ideas and plans change all the time, but have some kind of little inkling of an idea of what they may want to do, because once they graduate high school, they're gonna have to do something, because they can't stay in my house forever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
As of right now, my kids are both in single digits. One's 8, one's 6. They have I guess an idea of what they want to be, but like I said, ideas always change, especially at this age.
Yeah. Especially at this age. So
with that, they definitely have to go to college with what they want to be. But like I said, things change, but they're gonna have to have an idea of what they want to do. Because
true.
No people chilling on my couch at home. Not at all.
True.
What if
nobody would be chilling on my couch either.
How would you feel if your kids wanted to go into the military?
Man, well, I'm gonna say this, man. It would be tough, because we've already said this, and I'll say this all day long. I highly respect any and everybody who has done that. I mean, your dad, your brother, B-Rob, Chuck,
yep.
Many other friends and family, many other friends and family members that have done that with their life, and that was their choice, obviously, and thankfully they learned, and I think that's another place where you get and learn experiences. You see things and do things that you never would have done before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In many places in the world. So while I highly respect that, if they came to me with that, I'm gonna say this, in my heart and mind, that's not the path that I see for my kids. So if they came that to me with that, it would be shocking and surprising. I would definitely support them, as that's their decision to make with their life, especially at that age, 18 or more. That's the time, where you may not be fully grown and mature, but you are at the age where you should start making your own decisions. Well, I would be sort of shocked and awed, and would probably try to redirect, with my son, with Jackson. If that's what he wants, he's gonna do it, and you can't really stop him. With my daughter Savannah, she's an artist, she's a creative, so she could change her mind at the drop of a dime. But yeah, I'd be shocked, but I mean, I would support him. It is what it is, man. I'd be hoping and praying every day that they came back safe all the time. But
right,
I have a lot of great friends who did that. Who are doing that. So
right.
it would be cool. But also it would be sort of scary at the same time. So what about you, man?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I know it'll be tough. I'd probably support them as well. I know like you mentioned, my dad was in a Marine Corps, fought in Vietnam, so he did not want any of his kids to go into any type of military or armed forces.
Oh, is that right?
So, yeah, no, not at all. Not experiencing the stuff he has. I mean, he's 70 years old right now, and still struggles with PTSD. So, it's a lot better than it was, but of course, at the same time, back in the day, it was very, very bad. So that's, I think, the main reason why he did not want any of his kids to go into the military. I, for one, had considered joining the Marine Corps, but of course, my dad would have been extremely mad. He was already very disappointed, I guess, at my brother's decision to go into the
military,
to go into the Navy. Turning down a football scholarship to do that. But
where was his scholarship to?
Tuskegee.
Okay.
So,
wow, really?
Yes. I remember going with them. I guess he had a visit, just like in high school, he had to go and visit the campus and stuff. So the whole family went with them to do that, but he turned that down to go into the military. So, I don't know. I guess I'd support my kids' decision on doing that. I'd have to, I guess. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. I just would hope they weigh all their options out, see what's the best fit for them. I mean, if they're just trying to figure it all out on their own, I guess the military is not a bad option at all. I just know, of course, like during wartime, there's no telling when that could actually pop off for any number of reasons. Of course, you're always going to be concerned about your kids and, of course, about your nation as well. But yeah, I mean, when the time comes, if they want to do it, we'll talk and see where their mind is at. But yeah.
I would say, I would say the same thing. I would hope that, they definitely weighed all their options and they weren't just doing it, they weren't just doing it just to, just on a whim, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely have to be something that they would have to deeply consider. So
yeah, and I think I was listening to B Rob's last episode when he was interviewing a military friend of his, and I think his friend had wasn't doing too well in school, and then that's when they actually joined the Marine Corps, like right after that. So, like right after failing the test, like literally right after failing the test, just enlisted into the Marine Corps because they didn't think they were gonna, be do much of anything with the grades they were getting. So
yeah, wow, that's interesting. Interesting that they would do that. You know what I'm saying? I guess that sounds more of a reactionary. You know what I'm saying? Than not. So that's crazy, man. That's wild. But you do what you got to do. You know. But I'm gonna say this. Like, I wonder, what was that guy? Had that guy considered the Marines before?
I'm trying to
considered military before, or he just like up and did it?
I'm not sure. I think he just up and did it. Or he probably. I'm trying to remember the episode. Because I think from what I remember, he enlisted in it twice. And I guess if B Rob's listening to this episode, he'll confirm or deny. I think he was. Yeah. I think he had thought about it, and then, or he maybe saw the enlistment place. I can't remember exactly his words, but I know he did it twice, only because of like he had to go through like boot camp for medical reasons, like twice. But yeah, I'm sure he had to have thought about it, because I don't think it was just like spur of the moment. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But you never know. Some people may do that at spur of the moment. You know.
You're right, man.
I forgot what movie. What movie was that? There was some movie back in the day. Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito. He taught like a class of soldiers, like an English class, and there was one guy in there that like heard and joined the Marine Corps or the military after committing a crime, so he thought he could kind of like get away.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it didn't work out so well.
I guess he got pretty far in there, and everybody was really impressed. Like all the, the people in command, chain of command, was really impressed with like his skills and his leadership, stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, bam, it came up that police were looking for him. He committed some type of crime before he even enlisted. So I'm curious to know. I wonder how many people are actually in the military that just kind of like signed up and figured they could get away with a crime.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's an interesting question. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know, because I mean, I'm sure in the past this turns sort of crazy. I'm sure in the past you could probably be sort of sheltered from any kind of jail time or whatever. But I think in this day and age, they may not let you get away with that kind of stuff.
Oh, so, man. Yeah. Like
they would seek you out. They would pull you off the lineup.
I'm sure. I know when I was going to get my my clearance for my job, I'm not going to say what clearance it was for, but they had to interview. Clearance. Yeah, we'll just say clearance. They had to interview like a ton of folks. Do extensive background check, all that mess. Like, wow, they had people. They were interviewing people like all the way in like Atlanta and Louisiana. Hold on for a second, Jared. What do you need, son?
Gotcha.
I get something to eat.
What do you need to get to eat?
Some kind of breakfast thing.
You could have some fruit.
Is it lunchtime?
No, it's not lunchtime. You just ate breakfast, dude.
That doesn't work. You sure?
Yeah. Okay, close the door. I'll be out soon as anything.
Can I have some breakfast?
You just ate cereal, dude.
Can I have a breakfast bar?
Go get a breakfast bar then. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, so they had to interview people all over the place. Was it? And did they have to interview people all over the place for you specifically to get your clearance?
for me specifically, they need to check my background and all that stuff. So every friend I had listed, all my neighbors, they had to interview. Yeah. I mean, I got the clearance, but of course, like every so many years, they got to do that same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it'll be coming up soon that I'll have to go through the thing again. Yeah, that whole ordeal.
That's wild, man. They had to check on you, man. Make sure.
Yeah,
they was putting the right person in the right spot. So.
I am who I say I am.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, wow. This discussion has gone a different direction than we thought. So at this point,
I like spontaneous conversation.
Yeah, I like it too. And we ain't even talk about Kayla talking about being a cougar. So, man, Kayla, you go out there, get on that prowl. You know what I'm saying? You hop out, you go to that bike rider show. What'd you say? Get that bike meet.
I say get to that bike meet. Not that meat.
Get that.
Not the
get that bike meet.
Not the MEAT meat, Kayla. I mean, even though yeah. Anyway, get to that meat, MEET, and maybe you'll meet a guy with some bike meat.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, get that bike meat from the bike meet.
There you go.
That's it, man. That's it. Yep. But you're the cougar. You got to be on the prowl. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your thing.
Yeah. I mean, then of course she drives the cruisers, so she might meet. If she's a cougar, she's driving a cruiser, she gonna meet one of them little young guys who drive them little crotch rockets and sport bikes. Hey, that would be like you could teach him some things. He could teach you some things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can say, it was just my birthday. I need a birthday surprise.
Yeah.
Man. Zoom. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Well, I know we're over an hour now. And I know we have more stuff to talk about, but I know you got some antsy people around you. So I think that most of the other stuff we can talk about, with the exception of one, we can leave one for our next week probably. But most of the stuff we're going to talk about, we can put in our love box. So, Jay, go ahead. Careless Whisper. Let's hear it. That was it. It didn't start like it, but it ended like it. So yeah, hear that George Michael coming in. That George Michael coming in, and yeah, it's that time to tap your love box. So, if you work with Fat Albert's sister, and she out there pushing people around with her gut, tap your love box.
You ever seen somebody weeble wobble down the street or in the store, specifically Walmart to be exact? Tap your love box, because I see it all the time.
Seen that a lot. If you are frustrated with your New York Giants because it seems like they're giving away all of their players, tap your love box. I ain't mad, but I'm mad. Best player on the team, OBJ, go get rid of him. For the Browns? Come on, man. The Browns? Come on.
Maybe you could turn it around. Never know. Fellas.
It's a lie.
And our ladies. If you remember the first time you ever ate the cat, tap your love box. Should I even be mentioning this? I think my mom listens to this show.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, wait. What's up, Aunt Nanny?
Actually, I don't care. I'm a grown man. So, yeah. First time. Tap your love box.
Maybe talking about cougars brought up some memories for you?
It's possible.
Reminiscing on Freaknik last week brought up some memories for you?
No, man, well, Freaknik did bring up a lot of memories. I actually found like a couple of those videotapes that I had. I need to go and toss those somewhere. I got a grill. I'm going to grill today, so maybe I'll toss it in the fires after I grill. So I don't
after you grill
mess up my meat. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. If you think it's hard and ironic, or not, what am I trying to say? Hard. If you think it's ridiculous and ironic that a lot of NBA fans were mad at Russell Westbrook for threatening a Utah Jazz fan, but not as mad at the Knicks owner for banning a fan for just telling him to sell the team, tap your love box. Because I'm going to just say this. The Knicks, the New York Knicks, they're my childhood favorite team. I grew up in Houston, yes. I claim the Rockets now. Back then when I was a kid, I did not like the Rockets. I didn't care for Hakeem or Kenny Smith or Vernon Maxwell or Otis Thorpe. I didn't care about those guys. Ralph Sampson, who cares? I was a Knicks fan. Patrick Ewing, John Starks, they should have won that championship. They played the Rockets. All that being said, since those days when Big Pat, John Starks, Latrell Sprewell, all those guys left, the Knicks owner has just been horrible. The Knicks have been terrible. They've been one of the worst franchises over the past 20 years. 20 plus years they've been this bad. Can't make the playoffs or in the first round, and that's about it for most of the time. Carmelo was there, was supposed to be like their bright spot to bring them back. And I think he only brought them to playoffs one time in his, 7 or 9 years there. I can't remember how many years he was in New York. But their owner, everybody wants him to sell the team. Everybody does. Fans, people who aren't Knicks fans, people who hate the Knicks want him to sell the team just because he's that bad. And I'm sure he gets this cat call a lot of times at games. A fan yelled at him as this guy was walking back, out of the arena, yelled at him to sell the team. He turned around and told him he was going to ban him from any event at Madison Square Garden. The fans are the ones who pay your salary. The fans are the one who pays the player's salary. Mm-hmm. It's funny because New York, the state of New York, actually pays the Knicks property taxes that the citizens of New York pay for Madison Square Garden. They give them a kickback. I think it's it's like $20-some million, something like that every year. So really, you're going to kick this fan out for speaking his mind? They're all frustrated that you're horrible. You haven't made any good moves. And it seems like every year you're just trying to tank for the best pick possible. So, but, the owners sort of rejoiced and followed and backed that guy, right? On the other hand, Utah Jazz fans, are the worst. No, we won't say that. I'm not saying that. Not all of them are the worst. There's a lot that are good. My mother-in-law is a good fan. She doesn't heckle people. My wife likes the Jazz too. She doesn't heckle people. But I have seen several, overly belligerent people and people who weren't quite drunk yet try to heckle players from the upper deck and from the lower bowl. And this guy had been threatening Russell Westbrook, or maybe not threatening, but had been talking to him and saying some things to him that apparently crossed the line when it comes to heckling. Because these players hear it every day, right? They hear it every game if they're out of town, sometimes in town. And Russell turned around and was like, on my mama and everything I love, I'll come up there and I will. Let's see what he said. On my mom and everything I love, I'll come up there and I'll beat you and your wife too. Something like that. I can't remember what it said, but it was something like that. So when somebody drops that on my mama or, on whatever, on everything, then, they mean business. And this guy must have stepped across the line. And people were out, up in arms about what Russell Westbrook. But I'll tell you, man, I've heard people yell racist things, semi-racist things. Things like comb your hair, things like, those cornrows are too tight, that's why you can't shoot. Stuff like that. It's sort of ridiculous. But I'll tell you this. I will say this. It's funny because this week, the Utah Jazz actually released a letter, issued a statement to everybody. I guess issued a letter, and I'm not going to read it in its entirety. But let's see here. Where's it at? Where did I put it? Basically, it said, we don't condone what the fan did. We don't condone what the fan did, and in light of these recent events, we want to address the fan behavior and how to choose to express the passion we all have for the team. And whether you're online with social media or friends, whatever it is, we want you to love and support our team, but you got to do it the right way. And then the Jazz strictly enforce the NBA's fan code of conduct with zero tolerance. We don't permit hate speech, racism, sexism, or homophobia. We also do not allow disruptive behavior, including bullying, foul or abusive language, or obscene gestures. Violators will be subject to ejection and other penalties, including a lifetime ban. And this Utah Jazz fan, was banned, by the way. If you see or hear anything that violates these standards, please say something. Report any violators to the nearest guest services or security staff member. You can also use the arena text line, and an arena representative will respond to address the matter. Now, I'm going to say this to say that. Say that to say this. The last game that I was at, I know there was a couple of guys that were heckling and being pretty unruly. And all of a sudden, this lady who has to be like 74 years old. She was sort of like the portal guard, the one who checks all your tickets, and she checks everyone's ticket who goes down, to this section that we're in. So she walked down by herself, went and told these guys something, and got them up out of there. I don't know who told her something. I don't know what was said, but yeah, got them up out of there. And I was like, man, she's the seat Nazi. And my wife was trying to quiet me down, but she was for real. She was about that life. She wasn't trying to have these fools up in there. So for every, so many fans like that, there's some people there that will do something about it. And yeah, and I do support the guy getting a lifetime ban because the stuff that he said was sort of across the line. And and I do know that players, also hear it every day. I know that they should have a little bit thicker skin, but everybody's temperament is different, and depending on the situation, depending on depending on what's happening, and depending on how your day is gone, if nothing else, you might have a different reaction to each situation, and that's what Russell did. So I don't know, but tap your love box if you support Russ. It's a long love box. Long box.
Long love box. Wow. All right. If you go to a church where your pastor cast out oral sex demons, tap your love box.
Oh yeah, the demons that are down in the private parts.
Did you see this?
The private parts demons. This? Oh yeah, I saw that. The private parts demons. He had to spray it with some holy water. Spray the ladies' nether regions.
I thought it was some hand sanitizer.
I think it was too. To be honest, I think that's.
He bopped on the head. He bopped on the head with this.
What did he hit her with?
I don't know. It was either his microphone or his hand. I don't know. Ed Citronelli.
That was great.
Nice.
Ed Citronella. Right. Citronelli candles. Wow. Yeah, that's why I couldn't believe that. She was like, a demon came into my house and made me have oral sex with him. Like, no. That was Leroy from around the corner. What you talking about? Oh man, it preaches casting out sex demons. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was funny. If you think it's ridiculous that Juicy Smollett is pleading not guilty to all 16 counts of the foolishness that he was convicted for, tap your love box. Because come on, man, you did that. You orchestrated it. Now you don't want to take responsibility for your idiot actions. Come on, man.
maybe he got a good excuse, man. You never know. He gonna have to have some kind of story, some kind of defense to plead not guilty.
This is true. Very true.
Yep. Interesting. Wow. If you've ever reminisced about your cheating glory days, tap your love box. Your successful cheating glory days at that.
Successful cheating. And if you remember back on those cheating glory days and remember a lot of misfires and times you were unsuccessful, tap your love box, because I'm sure there's a lot of those out there as well.
Lucky I never got caught.
Never got caught, huh? Yeah.
Never got caught. Came close, just didn't get caught.
Yeah. If you live in the state of Louisiana and you got paid extra money on your tax return, tap your love box. But then also tap your love box if you do not plan to pay back that extra money to the state because they just realized they overpaid. Man.
Wow. My people. Well,
that's your people's government.
People's government.
They messed up.
True that. All right. If everybody's happy that James Gunn is back on the Guardians of the Galaxy job, tap your love box for my movie folks out there. I am too. He gonna have a good run, man. Suicide Squad, and so he's got DC and Marvel on his belt.
Yeah, he's doing it all. Tap your love box if you want your town to elect a goat as its mayor, just like this town in Vermont did.
Interesting. Well, I mean
the mayor may need a goat as a president.
I mean, it's just we got a goat as a meteorologist. I mean, we got a groundhog as a meteorologist. So it's probably just on the same level.
Yeah, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I believe so.
Yep. Is he gonna do a yay or nay? Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah. Nah. The Nas win.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Interesting. Wow. Things people do. Well,
all right.
If you have nothing, yeah.
That may be all for me. There's more to talk about, but I think it's a longer convo for next week. So, why don't you go ahead and tell them people where they can find us?
All right, people. Twitter, Instagram, #BlackoutPods, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Anchor, Spreaker, YouTube. You know where to hit us up and listen to us. All these episodes. Email us topics to discuss. #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Send us voicemails. 385-3BLAKPC or 385-325-2572. If you want to talk to us, you want to hear your voice on the radio or on the internet, on the podcast. There you go. On the podcast. Do it there. If you are a serious gamer and you like stuff in a box every month, bossboxes.shop, where you could get a 10% off a BossBox subscription when you put out Blackout 10 in the checkout. And since it's warming up outside, it feels pretty good. You might want to hit that grill up, heat it up, and even if you don't like to grill, you can still use this on the inside. Some hooks, rubs, and spices. Go to www.hooksrubs.business.spice. Get yourself some spices to put all over your meats and your veggies and your food and whatever. You could also hit up Etsy as well. Search for Hooks Rubs Spices. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Hit up that Hooks Rubs. hooksrubs.business.site. Links to all the things, but just go to that Etsy.com and search for Hooks, Rubs, and Spices and get that spice in your life. And yeah, man, definitely stay tuned to Hooks Rub, because eventually we'll upload this how-to video on how to make a yummy bacon or chorizo and jalapeno macaroni and cheese. And then we'll also be doing a giveaway, very cool giveaway with one of the partner companies that we work with. So sweet. It's an exciting thing. Oh, one thing I forgot to talk about, man. Hey, J-Lo's off the market, y'all. J-Lo's off the market. A-Rod went and locked that up. So if y'all was trying to get, some of that fly girl butt, like, it's not happening.
The vintage booty.
Yeah, she's worth something like $350 million. So you gotta be in that. You either gotta have good game, or you gotta be in that echelon of the rich and famous. And A-Rod, I guess he got both. So there you go. Congrats to them. Hope they make beautiful little Latino babies. So, all right, that's all I got.
I think J-Lo's might be closed for the baby factory.
Yeah, she might be closed, so whatever. Either way, if they did have a baby, though, I think it would be like the prettiest little baby ever.
Maybe they'll adopt some little African kids.
That's probably what's going to happen.
African accessories,
That's definitely what's going to happen. So yeah, you're right. Anyway, all right, I'm blacking out. Peace.
All right, blacking out. Latest.